This is Michael Popok, Legal AF, with some great news about President Joe Biden's efforts to reshape the federal judiciary, making it more diverse, having more women judges, more people of color than ever before, in a way that hasn't ever been seen, let alone in the president's first 2 years. It's undeniable. Joe Biden does many, many things right, and his moral compass is always right where it needs to be. And one of the things he's supremely talented at is working through the U.S. Senate, where he served more than 30 years as a distinguished member of that body, including on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Now working closely, him and his team in the White House, and Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, and his team have made getting federal judges confirmed their number one priority. This is even more acutely needed and more acutely their focus given the divided Congress that's going to come in January with the 118th Congress. That's just going to make Joe Biden focus even more heavily on leaving as one of his legacies the complete reshaping of the federal judiciary. We spent a lot of time talking about the importance of the Supreme Court, and hopefully Joe Biden will have at least one or two more opportunities now that we're moving for his 2 years of the first term and into a second term, to put even more people of color, diversity, talent, and quality, and progressive principles on the U.S. Supreme Court. But in the meantime, he's doing an amazing job, an unsung job by mainstream media of reshaping the judiciary. What do I mean? Biden has confirmed with Schumer and Durbin 97 federal judges, almost 100 federal judges, 28 appellate judges around the country, 68 trial court district court judges, and one member of the U.S. Supreme Court, and what a member that is in Ketanji Brown Jackson. How does that compare to his predecessors? He beats the pants off of them every way, shape, and form. Donald Trump in the first 2 years only got confirmed 74 judges. Obama only got confirmed 35 judges. So Biden is already almost 3 times more than even Obama in his abilities to work his way through the Senate. No surprise, because Biden spent so much time being a working senator, Amtrak Joe, in the Senate. He knows exactly how to get what he wants accomplished. And he's outfoxing, or out silver foxing, his Republican counterparts when it comes to the judiciary. And it's not just the numbers. It's not just 97 is a really big number, and it is, and a much bigger number than Donald Trump. Let's look at the breakdown of who he is nominating. It's not just middle-aged, old white guys. It is people of color, of diversity, and women in numbers that we have never seen a president accomplish, not even Barack Obama. Of the 97 judges, Biden has confirmed 74 women. Think about that. 74, 3/4 of the judges that Biden has placed on the bench are women. 11 of them are black women. If you add up all of the black women for George W. Bush, Obama, and Trump combined, Biden beats that in his first 2 years. Of the 74 women that have been put on by Biden, Trump didn't do that in 4 years, let alone in 2 years. And 67% of his confirmed new members of the federal bench are people of color. This is unheard of and unsung. We should be getting on the rooftops talking about how Biden is reshaping the federal judiciary. That's in the first 2 years. Now can you imagine in the next 2 years and 4 years after that, what Biden, Schumer, and Durbin are going to be able to accomplish, especially since Biden's going to have to focus a lot more on Senate judicial confirmations and a lot less on getting some domestic policies through if the incoming Congress and the incoming House is going to follow through on what they've said they're going to do, which is to deny Biden legislative success at every turn and focus on things that don't matter to Americans, their pocketbook, their health, and their morals, like the search for Hunter Biden's laptop. If that's going to be how the House, led by the Republicans, is going to be, which is, by the way, terrible for Americans in the short term, but great for Democrats in the long term to run against in the election cycle that will be the presidential election cycle. Pointing to a know-nothing, do-nothing Congress led by Republicans is a good thing. But if Biden wants to focus his energy, he will focus it on federal judicial nominees. So the hand-wringing over we don't have enough appointments on the Supreme Court, while true, can change overnight like a snap of the fingers. People retire, people resign, maybe they be impeached, and people pass away from natural causes. It happens. Sometimes it's a surprise. No one thought Scalia was in ill health until he passed away. No one thought that people like Souter were going to resign early, but it happens. So we'll have to see. But the good news is that even in the 118th Congress, if Biden matches these numbers, he will have accomplished in his first 4 years what Donald Trump was not able to accomplish in his, and then we look beyond that. This is Michael Popok talking about real facts, real data, and Joe Biden's accomplishments in reshaping the federal judiciary, both from a demographic standpoint, a gender standpoint, a sexual equality standpoint, and a morals, progressive values standpoint. This is why elections matter. This is why, even if you don't like the particular candidate per se, if they're in your party where it lines up with your values, you're going to have to hold your nose and pull the lever. Otherwise, you're going to get a Donald Trump, or even worse. How about a more powerful Donald Trump, a more egomaniacal Donald Trump, one who is more palatable to independents, like a Ron DeSantis? Can you imagine what Ron DeSantis, without all of the baggage that Donald Trump psychologically, morally, ethically, criminally brings to the job, what he could do in resetting the agenda of America if elected to office? I shudder to think what could happen. The good news is that we'll be reporting on Legal AF midweek and on the weekend, and in these hot takes about Joe Biden's accomplishments that are often not mentioned in mainstream media, especially at the federal judicial nomination level. And we're seeing the results of what it means to have Biden and Democratic confirmed judges on the bench in places like the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals that handles anything that deals with Washington, D.C. and government agencies. That's when Democratic confirmed judges sit there, good things happen. In places like the Fifth Circuit, the 11th Circuit, usually, and other places, bad things happen because they're over-dominated by the right wing and the MAGA right wing of the Republican Party. Except in rare cases where a confirmed judge is a Republican, which is okay. We're not saying all Republicans are bad, is ideologically conservative, but is not MAGA, is not gaga MAGA for Donald Trump. That's where bad things happen. And that's where every open vacancy, and there are hundreds of them in the federal judiciary and at the appellate level, have to be filled by Joe Biden over the next year without question and without delay. That will be and should be his number one priority in getting his job done over the next 2 years and beyond when he is reelected. This is Michael Popok reporting for Legal AF.
Our blue wall stopped the red wave and election deniers got denied election. That's why we're celebrating with the new Democracy Prevails team. We've got lots of work to do, but we should all be proud that when democracy was tested, democracy prevailed. You've earned this. Don't wait. Get yours right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.